Alright guys, good day in my NACAs. I got Alan Fowler, Southern River Fishing, here with me. We're going to demo a Bonafide kayak, SS127. I want to thank Scott with the kayak store for letting us borrow his boat. We're going to take it out, talk a little bit about some of the features and what you might expect from this boat if you go out and demo one and take one home. So let's hop to it. Alright guys, one of the first features that I feel like is unique to this boat, first of all, for its size, and we'll talk about the stability later, it's relatively light. I can tell you it's lighter than my HD, and it's much lighter than my Big Rig or my Mayfly. So just from a touch and feel standpoint, the handle feels great. It's big, and you can kind of manhandle the boat because it's not a tiny little handle or something like a handle with a paracord through it like some of them, but it's a great big handle, real sturdy. One of the things that I use an awful lot, especially when I'm running a shuttle on a float, I'm having to put multiple boats in one vehicle, is I love to put my rods inside the kayak. On the Bonafide, you've got a big hatch. It's plenty big enough for most everything that you could want to do to go in, but they've made one key change that I think is really neat. It's going to keep and save and protect my guides. You can rotate the lid and open it from both sides, making it much easier to get rods, multiple rods, inside the boat. For storage, especially if you're going on a long ride down to the coast to go saltwater fishing, you can put some reel covers, some rod sleeves over your rods, slip them inside and leave them the whole way instead of having to try to fit them in the vehicle. Great feature that's really well thought out. You've got a pod in the middle that you can hook up all your electronics to, and it is removable. But you can take that. It's got a big enough scupper for the biggest transducers I've seen. It's pretty big, fits those as well, and it's watertight. So inside, it's got a gasket all the way around the lid and where it touches, and it's got the clamps on the side similar to your Plano 3700s with the waterproof clamps. Does a great job with that. Throw your wallet, throw your keys, throw your cell phone when you're not in the picture taking mood. As you go towards the back, this is the seat. This is the big part that everybody, this is the seat. This is the part that everybody's talked about. This is the high seat version setting. So you can see that's a good bit higher than most of the boats out there. It also adjusts down. You can take it, pull this, loosen up your clamps, and you're down into the low seat position, which to my sight looks about the same as what I've seen in the high seat in most boats, Jacksons, Wildies, things like that I've paddled before. So migrate towards the back. You got gear track in the back, easy to put in Kayak accessories that you can strap down your coolers, you can strap down your crates, all those right there, and it also comes with bungee that you can take off and throw away. In the very back, you've got another big retractable handle. It's large, big enough to manhandle, pull the boat around, which I really like. I'm glad that the manufacturers are kind of adjusting to that. If you're going to make a big kayak, you're going to make a relatively heavy kayak, give us a manhandle so that we can pick it up and move it around a little bit easier.
You need to really turn around and go the other way.
Okay.
Because you're right in the sun.
really stable. I'm afraid to push it too hard, but because I don't want to get wet, you know. But
Yeah,
it is. That's stable. I'm gonna do something I don't normally do, but since the seat's so high. Nope. My balance is too bad. I bet you can stand easy though.
I don't stand up in no kayak.
I mean, it's really steady. It feels a lot like my HD as far as, I mean, you can feel that secondary right there. I mean, it's right there. Huh? No.
Stable and big rig?
No. It's probably 85% of that, 90% of that. That butt scooting actually doesn't, it's all right. It works.
Ain't too bad.
Nah, man, I'm stuck in this mud. I just had to pull pretty hard a couple of times. It come right through. It's not moving. Pretty solid, dude. It is. I'm gonna pull over there where I'm not worried about falling out. I'm gonna right on the dock, and I'm gonna try to see how far I can get to rock over. Dude, look at that. It is not. I mean, it ain't coming at all.
I mean, like, so if you was fishing, you had something in the behind the seat, you could turn around very easy.
Easy. I've got water within an inch of the side of the leg, and it's not coming. It's not like, you know how it'll get to one point and then it'll just start going?
Yeah.
It's still not going. It's right, hold on, right there. Right level with the side.
Yeah.
Huh. That's pretty solid. And that is great.
Yeah, I haven't seen any water in it either.
No, so
Like, no water in it.
one of the things that's really neat, if you look at the back well, it's all pitched forward towards the scuppers. So when you do get water in the back, like I just did from trying to tip it over, it immediately drained. There wasn't any pooling, wasn't any standing at all. It just quickly run right out. So we're gonna have Fowler take a trip.
Alright.
Slow.
Huh?
It's slow.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a far as Old Town, the small one. I can't remember the name of it.
It's about like my mayfly. I mean,
Think so.
I'd say it's a little more responsive than my big rig.
Alright, so this boat, to me, was as stable as a Coosa HD. Not as stable as a big rig, but somewhere in between the two. The seat is as comfortable as any kayak seat I've ever sat in. I really like it. You're really sitting way up high, really. Not as high as in my seat on my solo skiff, but almost at that high. I like the ability to put all your tackle boxes and stuff in the tray under the seat, because I'm a big putting my tackle boxes under the seat guy. So I really like that. I really like that you have a tray to put it in instead of just under the seat like in a Jackson. I like the hatch. The hatch opens both ways. There's no bungee on the front of the boat. That's one of my pet peeves, is having bungee on the front of the boat that catches hooks. So there's nothing on the front of the boat unless you put a rope up there that's going to catch a hook. That's one of my favorite things. And we was sitting here, me and Mayfield was sitting here looking, and I was like, yeah, this trough right here is just kind of like a some of the other boats that have come out, and you just stick your rod right in here and bungee it down. And it's not inside a tube or anything, but it's protected as well as any rod protector that I've ever seen. I really like that a whole lot. I really like these foot protectors right here, and that this is aluminum, not plastic like all the other boats. This is really pretty solid. I really like that. What do I not like? I'll tell you what, one thing I don't, is really a concern of mine, is all this plastic and all these moving parts on this seat right here. That's a lot of moving parts that are plastic. Other than that, I can't find anything I don't really dislike.
Alright, just sign off.
This is Alan Fowler with Southern River Fishing.
Alright, I want to give you guys an idea of the secondary stability on this. I've got it pulled over here on the side of a boat ramp, and I'm going to throw both legs over the side of the boat and just see what my tipping point is. Usually there's a point where the boat kind of resists tipping, and then there's a point where it lets go and goes. So we'll see how far this one goes. I'm level with the side of the boat before it lets go. Right there. So coming from somebody, a lot of people say, well, you can't tip this boat, or this boat's untippable. I've tipped a PA-14, completely turtled, and I've turtled a Jackson Big Rig on more than one occasion. So every boat can be turtled. This boat is better than most. That stopping point is right on the side of the boat. You go that far, you're going to have enough water in the boat, it's going to tip you too. All right, 6 foot, 290 pounds, halfway over before the boat lets go and allows the other side to come with it. very stable. Even in the high position, which is very, very high, perfectly comfortable turning, turning at a full paddle. I got myself deliberately stuck in some mud back there and had to do the little butt scoot like you do often. And seat held great. Didn't scoot, didn't move around, didn't wobble, which is something I thought might be a problem with it. So overall, very, very cool. I'm very impressed with it. I'm going to show you a little feature here that I kind of picked up. All right, one of the things that Alan and I both really liked is we got out. We didn't really fish, but we took a rod with us just so that we could throw it around, put it down, pick it up, get used to how the boat felt, and get used to how the rod felt. One of the things that I noticed right away is these ridges actually really worked and kept the rod sitting still even when I was turning, when I was moving. It's also got ridges on this paddle holder. That held. I really like this part of the seat. This bar runs left to right, right over top of the slide out tray, and your rods fit perfectly. The butts fit perfectly on that, so that your nice expensive reels aren't dragging around on the bottom of the boat with all the grit and the grime from the river. So I really like that, and it keeps the weight level so that these things down here can keep your rod in the right place. I like that. The slide out tray, personally, I'm not sure how much I would use this, but I was nervous that it would be hard to get to. This little thumb release, this little twist cap, but I was able to get to it easily and slide the tray out easily. Another thing that I noticed is that it has two small holes in the back. So I was afraid if I got water in it, like when I was trying to test the secondary stability, that you'd end up some water in that. I did have water in that, and it all drained. So even the slide out tray is sloped so that it drains right. Check out the rear end of the boat. So again, 6 foot, nearly 300 pounds, trying to tip the boat over. I got a good bit of water in the back side of this this boat, and one of the things that I noticed is the entire back well is shaded towards the front. It drained great, and it drained really fast. So something that comes to mind is going through small rapids, say on the Coosa, where you get a lot of water that comes over the side and over the front. In a lot of boats, that water immediately rushes right to the rear end of your boat, and especially if you've got your boat trimmed back where the front end's a little loose so that you can get through those rapids, you end up with a lot of standing water in the back of your boat. It messes with your stability. This boat, it drained perfectly, instantly, and I put probably 6 cups full of water in the back of this thing from a cup out of my truck, and it was draining so fast I couldn't keep up with it. It just instantly went right out. Really cool feature, really well thought out. So overall, I'll give my take. I think it's a very stable boat. It's somewhere in between a Hobie and a big rig and something like an HD or a Ride 135, maybe even a lure, one of the bigger lures. It's right there in probably the top 10% of stability on boats made. It's quicker than I thought it would be. It's very similar to my Mayfly that I'm paddling right now as far as the whole shot speed. It takes a few good strokes to get going, but once it gets going, it goes pretty good and glides pretty good. I'd like to paddle it on some moving water and see how cross currents and stuff affect it, but the pontoons down the sides are not as exaggerated as I thought, so it should glide okay, but I'd like to see what it does like with some cross currents and see how they bite into the front end of the boat. The seat is wonderful. It's very comfortable. The number one fear I had is that as you scoot it, it's like on a float when you get stuck in a shoal, scooting the boat forward as you push off, that this seat would want to collapse and go forward. And I got stuck in some pretty sticky mud over there and was able to scoot pretty strong 3 or 4 good times, and the seat didn't move at all. So I'm impressed. It's obviously something that they thought about as well. So overall, I think it's a great boat. It's a great value at $15.99. A lot of boats coming out today are that much or more. So you need to get out, talk to Scott at the kayak store, and demo one for yourself.